In a city where power moves faster than the subway and status shifts with every room you enter, learning to stand tall without leaning on old habits becomes your real superpower. And today, I'm pulling back the curtain on how to navigate polished, high expectation social circles with confidence, clarity, and character. Whether you found yourself overwhelmed by hyper competitive environments or simply want to sharpen the way you move through NYC's elite orbit, this channel is your blueprint for self mastery, social intelligence, and strategic presence. So before we dive into the mindset, the methods, and the mastery, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because what you're about to learn will shape the way you carry yourself in every high pressure space you step into. 1. Rewriting your internal script. The first step toward escaping limiting patterns is changing the story you tell yourself about who belongs in elite rooms and how you fit into them. You don't enter these spaces to impress people, but to contribute value. You aren't there to chase approval. You're there to stand in your own grounded presence. Whenever you feel pressure rising, remind yourself that identity grows stronger when it's self-defined rather than socially assigned. The more you detach from old narratives, the more flexible, adaptive, and strategic you become. Social mastery is not about reinventing who you are, but refining how you move. NYC respects people who are anchored, not frantic. So choose the tone, energy, and persona you bring into the room. 2. Understanding high-pressure social dynamics. Elite environments often operate on fast judgments and subtle cues, and knowing how to read a room can be a superpower. People in these spaces communicate as much through posture, tone, and microexpressions as they do with words. Your ability to recognize tension, opportunity, and social hierarchies instantly sets you apart. Instead of reacting emotionally, you learn to observe neutrally. This neutral observation is what frees you from cultural crutches and knee-jerk responses that sabotage presence. The more you study the social choreography around you, the more invisible rules become visible. Once you can predict patterns, you gain control. 3. Building presence without performance. Your presence should communicate agency without forcing charisma or pretending to be someone you're not. Elite circles can make people feel like they have to overperform, exaggerate, or shrink themselves depending on who's watching. But the real advantage comes from stillness, roundedness, and self-command. When you stop performing and start embodying, you project authenticity mixed with strength. People gravitate to that without you chasing it. Over time, you become known as the person who brings clarity, not chaos. This is how you move from outsider to respected participant. 4. Dropping learned dependence on familiar norms. Often, the hardest part of stepping into powerful circles is letting go of old habits that feel comfortable but no longer serve you. These habits can be cultural, familial, or personal, but the effect is the same. They pull you back when the environment demands evolution. Growth requires fluid identity, flexible thinking, and selective self-reinvention. Instead of clinging to what feels familiar, you adopt what is useful. You choose behaviors based on context rather than conditioning. Over time, this adaptability becomes your new foundation. You stop reacting and start designing who you are in real time. 5. Leading with value instead of validation. Nothing elevates your position in an elite environment faster than showing value rather than seeking validation. People who chase approval get lost in comparison and insecurity. People who offer solutions become indispensable. To shift your mindset, ask yourself, what does this room need, and how can I provide it? Value can be insight, clarity, discretion, emotional maturity, or strategic thinking. Once you stop seeking permission and start offering presence, your influence expands naturally. People begin to rely on your steadiness. This is how you become unforgettable rather than unnoticed. 6. Emotional control as social leverage. Elite spaces can trigger insecurity, competition, and comparison, and emotional discipline becomes a weapon. The person who maintains calm during chaos becomes the one others look to for cues. You learn to feel emotions without acting them out. You cultivate detachment so your mind stays clear while others drown in pressure. Emotional control doesn't mean suppressing feelings. It means managing them strategically. When your emotions serve your goals rather than hijacking them, you gain a quiet, powerful edge. Over time, this creates a reputation of stability that people trust. 7. Mastering the art of strategic silence. Silence is one of the most underrated tools in high-profile environments. Most people talk to prove something, to fill gaps, or to gain attention. But silence makes people reveal themselves. It gives you time to observe, analyze, and decide what version of yourself the moment requires. Silence creates an air of composure and control that others instinctively respect. It allows you to choose your words with precision rather than panic. In elite circles, the person who speaks least is often the one with the most authority. Learn to use silence as a mirror and a shield. 8. Maintaining identity without becoming defensive. When navigating powerful environments, identity must be carried with dignity, not defensiveness. You don't need to announce it, justify it, or weaponize it. Identity is strongest when it is stable and self-owned, not when it is used as armor. Elite circles respect people who know who they are without needing validation. You integrate your background and experiences into your presence in a way that strengthens your social intelligence rather than limiting it. This quiet confidence allows you to move between worlds with grace. You evolve without erasing yourself. 9. Creating relationships based on alignment, not approval. Connections in elite spaces must be intentional. The goal isn't to be liked by everyone, but to align with the people whose values, ambitions, and character match your direction. Approval-based relationships drain you. Alignment-based relationships elevate you. You learn to identify people who operate with integrity versus those who thrive on chaos. You invest in long-term alliances instead of short-term attention. Over time, you build a network that reinforces your growth rather than your insecurities. This kind of strategic connection building becomes a superpower. 10. Becoming the calm center of high-intensity rooms. When you master the art of grounding your energy, you become the calm center even when the environment spins around you. Elite circles often run on overstimulation and pressure, and most people lose themselves in the noise. But the person who remains steady becomes magnetic. You learn to regulate your breathing, adjust your posture, and reset your mind so your presence commands quiet attention. Calmness becomes charisma. Confidence becomes subtle, not loud. Over time, people begin seeking your presence because it stabilizes the environment. As you continue leveling up your mindset and stepping into more powerful circles, remember that your greatest asset is not imitation but evolution, not mimicry but mastery, and not performing for approval but showing up with grounded intention. NYC's elite orbit isn't about perfection, it's about emotional clarity, strategic presence, and the courage to shed the patterns that hold you back from becoming your strongest self. If today's breakdown gave you a new lens for navigating high-pressure environments, make sure you hit subscribe because every upcoming video will sharpen your influence, expand your confidence, and elevate the way you move through the world.